The Scottish rally started in Glasgow last Saturday evening, finishing back in the city on Tuesday lunchtime with only one night free of driving. A total of 1,200 miles, 47 special stages, most of them the traditional rough tracks through the Scottish forests. But the first test was over the tarmac roads of Glasgow's Strathclyde Park, and that's where our report starts, somewhat dramatically. That impact bends the steering arm of world champion VATANEN Shell Escort, but he quickly recovers and still makes sixth fastest time on the special stage. An even more dramatic start for HANNU MIKKOLA in the Audi Quattro, the favourite for victory on the rally. Braking for the first bend, the turbocharged car is crippled by steering failure, a repeat of the disaster which eliminated them from the World Championship Acropolis rally a week earlier. As marshals help MIKKOLA to steer off the road onto the grass verge, co-driver Arnie Hertz gets out to inspect the damage. The marshals warn that the next car is approaching, which means the Audi has already lost 1 minute. And that car is Jimmy-MCRAE's Opel Ascona 400, on his way to making fastest time on the stage. As Hertz looks for the fault, MIKKOLA, aware that for him victory is ticking away, inspects the damage for himself.
Det är bra, stopp, inte så mycket, kom tillbaka sakta. Tillbaka sakta, mer, lite till. Där, stopp där. Ta till vänster en aning.
Another minute has passed, and STIG BLOMQVIST Talbot Sunbeam Lotus arrives on the scene to be slowed by the marshals. MIKKOLA is losing too much time. If he wants to stay in the rally, he has to find a way of getting the Audi to the end of the stage where his mechanics can repair it. With the four-wheel drive car refusing to steer forwards, he decides to attempt to reverse it, and with a little help from the marshals, sets off down the stage backwards. But it's a tricky operation. After 8.5 agonizing minutes, he makes it to the service area, a very relieved man.
Well, I'm still in the rally in every case, you know, so this was really ridiculous.
That's exactly what happened on the Acropolis in Prague. It seemed to have the same effect.
Yeah, Acropolis, I did the first stage without problem. Now it was before the first bend already, so we have to have a careful look what happened. It was just a loose connection.
At least you're still in the rally this time.
Yes, I'm still in the rally, and it's okay. 6.5 minutes is very long time, but it's 1 second per kilometer. I have to be faster than others. No, I don't think so, but we try.
VATANEN is also trying and flies into the lead. McRae is second. STIG BLOMQVIST, making only his second appearance this season for the Talbot team, is also flying in third place and challenging McRae for second. McRae's teammate Henry Toivonen in the second Rothmans Opel is fourth. Russell Brooks heads the Vauxhall Challenge with his Chevette in fifth place. And he's chased by Cumbria's Malcolm Wilson on his first drive in this country since last year. The second Vauxhall Chevette is being driven by Terry Cabey, who makes a good start, but the Scottish forests are treacherous and slippery after heavy rainstorms. The engine has stalled. Will it restart? Luckily it does, but the time loss drops Cabey to 8th. Someone else in trouble at the same spot is John Weatherly, giving the Citroën Visa an otherwise impressive championship debut. Per Eklund's Duckham's Toyota Celica is going well and disputing 5th place. HANNU MIKKOLA is carving his way back up the field in sensational style after that first stage disaster. But the spectacle of the rally is VATANEN.
I just left my brake a little bit too late, and I had some previous corners I had brake too early, and now I left it a little bit too late, and you'll see the results.
Despite his exuberance, the world champion still leads. McCrae is next to arrive, and he too is caught out by this deceptive bend. Despite losing valuable time, he still holds third place and acknowledges his mistake with a wave. Stig Blomqvist scrabbles round in second place, while Henry Toivonen spots the telltale skid marks and corners safely. On the run into Aviemore, Vatanen's advantage has been cut to only a few seconds. A very much in-form Blomqvist heads the chase. He's followed by Scotsman McCrae, determined to win his home event. Toivonen is fourth and having to give best to his Rothmans teammate. Russell Brooks always goes well in Scotland. He won the event in 1976, and his determined driving in the Vauxhall Chevette is keeping him well up with the leaders, and he approaches Aviemore in fifth place. Malcolm Wilson has dropped back following a fire in his car's electrical system. And while he's unable to do anything about the flying Mikkola, who has already passed him to snatch sixth place, he's still ahead of Per Eklund's Toyota. The new Celica going very well as the cars arrive at Aviemore.
We had no problems throughout the night. We were leading by nearly a minute this morning. And of course, the fact that Hannu was further down the field, you know, it was much easier for us then. Then we had the half shaft going and lost a minute, and now we are only leading by 20 seconds. And again today we had no other problems.
Who's chasing you now then, Harry?
Stig Blomqvist is chasing very well indeed. He's timing very well. He's the most serious one.
Do you know how far behind Vatanen you are?
Yeah, I think it's about 40 seconds now again.
Well, why has it dropped back? Why have you dropped back a little?
Yeah, the last stage here, it's only the first car who can go through there, and then the road is so rough.
What disadvantage is it running behind the leaders on these rough stages, Jimmy?
I think every car that goes through, obviously the first car through has the benefit of the clear stage. Every car after that, especially the stages around this area, I would say every car you'll lose 10 seconds just with the rocks that's strewn over the track.
On Monday morning, Vatanen leads the field through the northern forests, hotly pursued by Blomqvist. McCrae is catching Blomqvist. Toivonen is still fourth. Brooks is delayed when the Chevette's front suspension hits a rock, and he's about to become the next victim of the Audi Quattro, driven by an aggressive Mikkola. Wilson holds 7th place as he tries to catch Brooks, but he is also under pressure from KV. Ken Wood loses a few seconds in his Triumph TR7 V8. Vatanen's lead has been reduced to just 3 seconds after a spin, but in Menotti Forest, his fantastic drive is about to end.
Prop shaft broke, or coupling of a prop shaft broke, and we have no drive. That's the end of the rally.
What actually happened? You were sort of bombing down that straight and just...
No, well, just suddenly the back end of the car, you know, lifting up because the front of the prop shaft was touching the ground, so that was lifting the back end of the car up, and so I knew that's it.
So as the world champion takes a plane home to see his newly born daughter, Stig Blomqvist inherits the lead of the Arnold Clark Scottish Rally. But it's a very short-lived lead because disaster is about to strike the Talbot Sunbeam when its engine loses oil pressure and he too is forced to retire. And that means Mikkola is up to a sensational 2nd place. Suicidal spectators give him a test of nerves, but he storms past countryman Toivonen over the long Kulbin straights. Now he is only 1 minute behind the new leader, Jimmy-McCrae. After a fantastic final night through the rough, dusty forests high above Loch Ness, the Scotsman fights for his honour. But Mikkola's superior power and traction with a turbocharged 4-wheel drive Audi is too much, and he takes the lead. Toivonen's content with 3rd place, still trying to keep up with the leaders, but at times trying a little too hard. With only 2 stages to go, the epic battle is over.
Jim, you must be very disappointed.
Yes, quite a bit disappointed. You know, we really You know, it's like batting your head against a brick wall trying to beat the four-wheel drive Quattro. We tried and, you know, we failed, so we'll settle for second now.
Although McRae has settled for second, Mikkola cannot afford to let up over the final special stages to the north of Glasgow. The sad Scot, with regular co-driver Ian Grindrod, is yet again second on his home rally. Henry Toivonen and Fred Gallagher finished third. Russell Brooks finishes fourth in the Vauxhall Chevette. Malcolm Wilson in fifth place makes a successful return to British rallying just 1 month before his marriage. Terry Cabey, the other young British hopeful, is sixth in the second Vauxhall Chevette. While Per Eklund gives the new Toyota Celica its first rally result in 7th place. But the heroes are HANNU MIKKOLA and Arnie Hertz. From last place, they charge back to return to Glasgow as winners. It's the 4th time they've won the Scottish, but this time they did it the hard way.